right, here we go. Quick intro. Let the people know who you are and what's your lane in the car game.
Well, basically I do it all. So my name is Terrance, the car guy. Um, I sell cars. I've been doing that for almost 30 years. It'll be 30 years in like another week. So I'm excited about that. Um, and I can sell anything. So let's say you want a 2026, for instance, I just sold a 2026 Kia Sportage 2 days ago to some friends of mine. I went in, worked the whole deal for them. They told me what they wanted, found them right down to the color, found the color they wanted. They were so excited, drove all the way up here from Jonesville, bought the vehicle. They're happy, they're on their way. Um, Another example, I had a couple of friends looking for, $5,000 cars. I got a great place that I use that I sell the cars from. They stand behind their cars. Um, and so that's exciting as well because I'm able to help anyone in any price range from, I would say 2,000 all the way up to, $100,000 cars. So I'm able to help anyone.
All right, so we can actually jump right into it because that's where I was going anyway. So what I want to do is provide some type of basic knowledge for this segment, which is called Car Shopping 101. So we're gonna start with what are like the what are the top red flags for a person that doesn't know anything. They just got their tax money. They know they need a new car, but don't know where to start. Now, whether that's makes a models to stay away from, is it? I mean, obviously, it's always depending on your budget.
Sure.
But say, for instance, we'll just take somebody that got $5,000. Somebody come to you with $5,000. Where do you guide them, or how do you start that conversation on getting them a new set of wheels?
Well, so the first thing I'll do is I'll basically, hey, what exactly are you looking for? What is your goal with your $5,000 so we can get you the most bang for your buck? Is it an SUV? Is it a pickup truck? Are you looking for a third row vehicle? Are you looking for something small, compact? Obviously good on gas, something like that. What are your hot buttons? A lot of people's hot buttons are I need third row or I need four-wheel drive. So I kind of steer them in the right direction, so they can get the bang for their buck.
So say if this person is going along to a car lot, and because schedules just mixed up, and you don't have the time to get with them.
Sure.
What are the top things you tell them to look for? Because we know, depending on the salesman, some of these people sell a woman anything, sell a man anything. So what are the top things you tell them to look for when shopping for a new car?
Some of the top things I tell them to look for is, number one, know your budget before you walk out the door. And if your budget is $5,000, we're using $5,000 for instance, go on Facebook Marketplace and kind of see what's out there, so that when you go into the dealership, you're not sticker shock. You're not saying, "Oh, I thought I could get a 2020 for $5,000." You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the main things you want to do, so that way you're not wasting the dealership's time and you're not wasting your time.
Is it a red flag if somebody finds a 2020 for $5,000? What would you think?
First thing I would do is I'd say send me the VIN number so I can run that VIN for you and look at that Carfax and see where this vehicle's been. Is it a total loss vehicle? Is it a flood vehicle, which is still a total loss vehicle? I mean, what is going on? Has it been in a bad accident? Airbags deployed? What is going on with this vehicle? Why is the vehicle so cheap? What's the miles? So,
is that a question you can ask? Is that a good question to ask, like whoever's selling the car, like why are you selling it? Or is it that kind of overbearing, or do what people lie? You think with why they're selling something?
A lot of times people don't think you're going to look up that Carfax. When you ask them for that VIN number, they're oh my gosh, I got to give the VIN number up. And so a lot of people don't run Carfaxes nowadays. I just had a guy that got a hold of me after the fact and hadn't ran the Carfax, and we found out that the vehicle had been in 2 accidents. Both accidents, airbags were deployed, and so he kind of got a lemon. It was put back together, wasn't put back together correctly. And so he has a vehicle that has a ton of electrical problems. And we all know if you have ever had a vehicle with electrical problems or anything with electrical problems, it's a nightmare.
What's the sign of a lemon? Because, that's, in my opinion, that's how they get most people. they get you good enough to get your money and then get you off the lot, and then 2 blocks down, a couple days later, that's when it all goes left. So what are some clear signs of a lemon? And explain what a lemon is to people.
So the technical name for a lemon, it has to be a brand new vehicle, and you have to have it at the shop for the same problem. I believe it's 5 times, maybe 6 times. Don't quote me on that. Let me look that up. But you have to have the vehicle there for the same problem, and that's where the lemon law. That's how it came into effect. Lemon law on a pre-owned vehicle is, there's no such thing as a lemon law on a pre-owned vehicle.
So that only applies to okay.
It only applies to new.
I never knew that. So with where's the middle ground between a good deal and this is looking kind of shaky? Say if what's the cutoff for the year versus what somebody's budget is? So for instance, if somebody's selling a 2020 for 8,000. Oh, what's a good price for? And also explain like the mileage, the typical allowed mileage for how many years or how old the car is. Can you break that down?
So over the years, mileage has obviously went up. We as Americans have become busier in our day-to-day life, and so when I started, it was like 10 to 12,000, and then it went up to 15,000. So that's kind of what it is right now. It's still kind of at that 15,000. 15,000 miles a year is basically what we kind of base everything off of when I'm looking at a vehicle, when I'm appraising a vehicle. And so I base it off of that. So, a 3-year-old car, 45,000 miles, that's generally speaking going to be your mileage kind of cut off. But I mean, you can have more, you can have less, but you kind of want to start with that.
High mileage vehicles a red flag? Because I've heard one thing that's okay. Well, high miles depending on city versus highway, or how do you determine? Okay, well, it's high miles, but this is still a good car. How do you navigate that and identify if that's just too much or it's still worth looking into?
Sure. So the reason, so certain vehicles are better than others. We both know that. But generally speaking, the vehicles with high miles, a lot of those vehicles are generally decent cars, because I can say a lot of times if they got to those types of miles, and when we say high miles is different for everyone. So I'm going to say anything over 100,000. Okay. If a person got there, they generally took it to the dealership, or they have someone that maintenance that vehicle in order for them to get to that 100,000 and above. And with that being said, it's a lot of again, going back to that Carfax, you can look it up and see the maintenance on it. Carfax just isn't for if a vehicle's been in accidents. You can actually look it up and see how well they maintain that vehicle. So to answer your question, high mileage vehicles are okay, especially if that's in your price range. Just some are better than others.
What are some? I think one of the main things people want to know or should know: brands to stay away from, or models makes to stay away from, and just what's more dependable. That's what a lot of people go for.
Sure.
Nowadays, especially, I think, is what's more dependable. What's going to, burn a hole in my pocket? What are like the go-tos you think for a person that just doesn't have millions to play with?
Sure. That's a very good question. I would say do your research. And when I say do your research, you can go online and, let's say you're interested in a 2020 Suburban. Do your research on that vehicle. What I mean by that is not only will you go online and see what other people are saying about that vehicle, but go to a couple of shops. Go to some private shops that you trust. Go to the dealership. Ask some of those service advisors and service writers. Say, listen, I'm interested in getting a 2020 Suburban. How do you guys feel about it? Go to some of your, the dealerships that are in your city or in your town, and just kind of build a relationship with those guys so that if you do decide to get that vehicle, you already have a relationship built with them. And then also, if you'd like, set up an appointment with them to get the vehicle looked at. I mean, you can do that as well. Then that way, that'll give you that peace of mind as well.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I got in the habit of doing years ago, especially now with AI and just the depth of stuff we can find on the internet, a simple dependability search. It's like if you see a car you like,
Yeah.
you can always just plug in, okay, well, dependability of 2020 Suburban. Biggest issues with 2020 Suburban. Some cars are known for,
Right.
you know, specific issues like the Impala with the dashboard ticking up, you know, the
Yeah,
actuators, all of that stuff. So there are certain things certain cars have, and you can kind of gauge, all right, is this something I want to get myself into? Because yeah, it has a good motor, but it has this problem. Or because, you know, I always tell people, my dad told me before, you know, there's only one way to not have car problems. Don't have a car, sell your car. What that means is you're always going to run into something. You're not going to find the perfect vehicle. And I think some people, they get that idea that because they spend so much money on something.
Yeah.
And I get it, you know, this money you work for, you know,
Sure.
but you know,
Sure.
who wants to walk into a headache? But that's the point of this, is to tell people. So are there any makes to stay away from, some that you see just more issues with that aren't even worth, you know, stepping foot in?
Sure. So I guess there's a few car brands out there, but they all have, you know, I would say vehicles that, you know, are good. But when I say that, I would rather answer that question with what vehicles to stay away from. Because if I say stay away from GMCs, not all GMCs are bad, right?
Right.
Again, I want to revert you back to doing your research, but if you're asking me personally, there's a handful of vehicles that stand out. I mean, Honda and Toyota are always going to be your top two vehicles that are going to give you that longevity. They're going to hold value very well.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to last. I mean, when I started in the car business, I started with Toyota, and so I was able to learn a lot about those, learn a lot about their customers, why they keep coming back. Subaru's another one, but in all, I would basically just lead you back to doing your research. If you see somebody in the parking lot that has a particular car that you're interested in, just stop and say, hey, listen, how do you like this car? And then also too, you have to remember what is drawing you to that car, that particular car that you like. What is drawing you to it? Do you like the colors of it that it comes in? Do you like the body style? What is drawing you to that? What are, again, the key to it all is, what are your hot buttons? Mm-hmm. Are your hot buttons third row? Are your hot buttons four-wheel drive? I mean, there's other vehicles that you can look at that are going to have third row, that are going to have four-wheel drive, that are going to have the heated seat standard, that are going to have the heated steering wheel. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it now in this day and time is research.
Is the running joke about Equinoxes and Traverses valid, or is that just something you think some people possibly not just taking care of their cars, or what do you think about that? People stay away from.
Sure. So that's going to be dependent on the year. Okay, some of those are better than others, but me personally, again, depending on the year, there's a few of them. There's a handful of those I would definitely stay away from.
What are those years? If you
2010 to 20, probably 15, 16, gonna be like your Traverse, your GMC Terrain. You know what I mean? They have a ton of issues. But I have seen some of those vehicles with a lot of miles on them, but they were well maintained. So if you're not a person that's staying on your oil changes and staying on your maintenance, that's definitely not the vehicle for you. And so I don't want to bash one manufacturer in particular, but yeah, it's just some vehicles you should do your research on and talk to And like I said, a lot of people don't know that they can go up to the dealership and talk to the service writers, or they can go to your mom and pop repair facilities and talk to someone they don't know, you know. So
Last but not least, let people know where they can get a hold of you if they need assistance with something. Any shout outs you want to do with places you work with on this subject, and then we'll finish it off like that.
Sure. So you can get a hold of me by contacting 517-275-6617. I got over 30 years in the business. I can help you from A to Z, whether it's financing, whatever issues you have, I can help you. Not worried about credit, we can get that done. Not worried about being able to find that particular car, I can find it. The world is ours, so if we have to travel, we can travel to get whatever vehicle you like. There's a few places I like to give shots out to that I work with. One is Southside Auto Sales. They do a fantastic job of getting their vehicles through service and getting them looked at and selling quality vehicles. You know, they're home of the 10 grand and under cars. I like to give them a shout out. Who else I like to give a shout out to? Right Way Automotive. They do well with me as far as helping me get people that are credit challenged. Yeah, those are some of the ones just offhand. And then again, just I can sell any car. I don't need you tell me what you want and I find it for you. That's a lot of people say, Terrance, how do you do that? How do you just walk into a dealership and sell a car and you don't work there? Well, that's what I do. So you have your mortgage brokers, and I'm the auto broker. So I've been doing it for probably 10 years this way, and it has worked very well. Some people don't like it, and when I say some people don't like it, some people don't like the fact that I'm able to go in, sell the car, and go home. But it comes from me building those relationships. People trusted me. I put the time in to where I can step into the dealership. They love to see me coming because they know when they see me, I'm selling a car for them. So it's been an exciting journey. And again, don't worry about you not being able to find the car you want, because I'll find it. I promise you.
And that's how we're going to end it. There it is, y'all. The man himself, Terrance Smith. Appreciate you, brother. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. Keep the wheels turning.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.